So far we have discussed the properties of integers under addition and also under multiplication. Now let us do some problems based on the properties of integers. Now verify 18 into 7 plus of minus 3 equals to 18 into 7 plus 18 into minus 3. So first we will find the value of LHS. So LHS equals to 18 into 7 plus of minus 3. Now this equals to 18 into 7 plus of minus 3 is 4. So here 18 4s are 18 to the 36 to the 72. So 18 4s are 72. The value of LHS is 72. Then you will find the value of RHS. Now this equals to 18 into 7 plus of 18 into minus 3. Now this equals to 18 into 7 126. Now plus of 18 into minus 3 is minus 54. Now 126 minus 54, 6 minus 4 2, 12 minus 5 7, 72. So we got the same result for RHS. So we can write that LHS equals to RHS. Now therefore we can write that 18 into 7 plus of minus 3 equals to 18 into 7 plus 18 into minus 3. So this is called distributive property of multiplication over addition. Now the next question, for any integer a, what is minus 1 into a equal to? Now for example, if you multiply any integer by minus 1, so minus 1 into 5 equals to minus 1 5s are 5, and minus 1 into 13 equals to, so minus 1 13s are 13. So if you multiply minus 1 into a equals to what into a, and minus into plus is minus a. So this is minus a. Now let us see the next question. Find the product using suitable properties. So the first question in this, 26 into minus 48 plus minus 48 into minus 36. So here the first two we can use the commutative property of multiplication. Now we can write 26 into minus 48 as minus 48 into 26 plus of minus 48 into minus 36. So the property used here is commutative property under multiplication. So since a into b equals to b into a, now we can use the distributive property of multiplication over addition here. So we can write minus 48 into, so here we get 26 plus of minus 36. So this is according to the distributive property of multiplication over addition. So that is a into b plus a into c equals to a into of b plus c. Now this equals to minus 48 into 26 minus 36 is minus 10. So here minus into minus plus, and 48 into 10 is 480. So in this problem we have used two properties. One is commutative property of multiplication and the second is distributive property of multiplication over addition. Now let us see the second question. 8 into 53 into minus 125. So we can use the commutative property of multiplication here. So then we get 53 into 8 into minus 125. Now this equals to a in this, a into b equals to b into a. Now here we can group these two integers together and we can multiply. So this is associative property. So here 53 into minus 125 into 8. So 125 2s are 250, 254s are 1000. So we can write minus 1000. Now this equals to 53 ones are 53 and plus into minus 53 1 are 53,000. So the product is minus 53,000. Then the third question, 7 into 50 minus 2. So here also we can use the distributive property of multiplication over subtraction, or this can be written as 7 into 50 minus 7 into 2. Now this A into of B minus C equals to A into B minus A into C. Now this equals to 7 into 50, 350 minus 7 2s are 14. So 350 minus 14 is 316. So this is the product of the given 7 and 50 minus 2. Now let us see the properties of integers under subtraction and under division. Now first we will write the properties of integers under subtraction. So the first closure property. So if 3 and minus 4 are any two integers, then their difference 3 minus of minus 4. So this equals to 3 plus 4 equals to 7, which is an integer. And if you take any other example, minus 5 minus 9. So your minus 5 is integer and 9 is also an integer. Their difference equals to minus 14, which is an integer. So we can write that integers are closed under subtraction. So for any two integers A and B, so for any two integers A and B, A minus B is also an integer. Now let us see the commutative property. Now for example, minus 5 is an integer and 7 is an integer. So their difference minus 5 minus 7 equals to minus 12. But if you take the difference of 7 and minus 5, so 7 minus of minus 5 equals to 7 minus of minus plus 5 equals to 12. But both are not same. So we can write that minus 5 minus 7 is not equal to 7 minus of minus 5. So integers are not commutative under subtraction. So we can write that integers are not commutative under subtraction. Now let us write the statement for any two integers A comma B, A minus B is not equal to B minus A. Now let us write the associative property. Now here also we can observe that 5 minus 3 of minus 2. So first let us find the difference of 5 and 3, then and we will subtract this. We will subtract 2 from their difference. So 5 minus 3 is 2, minus 2 equals to 0. And in the second case we will take 5 minus of 3 minus 2. So this equals to 5 minus of 3 minus 2 is 1 and 5 minus 1 is 4. So here also we find that both results are not same. So we can write that 5 minus 3 of minus 2 is not equal to 5 minus of 3 minus 2. So integers are not associative under subtraction. So we can write that integers are not associative under subtraction. So we can write for any three integers a comma b and c. So a minus b of minus c is not equal to a minus of b minus c. So your integers follow the closure property under subtraction, but do not follow the commutative property as well as associative property under subtraction. Now let us see the properties of integers under division. So first we will check the closure property, then commutative property. First we will check closure property. Commutative. Associative, then division by 1, then division by 0. Now first we will check the closure property. Now here 4 is an integer and minus 8 is an integer. So when you divide 4 by minus 8, then we get 4 by minus 8. So here we get 4 1s are 4, 4 2s are 8. So this equals to minus 1 by 2. But here minus 1 by 2 is not an integer. So here we can say that integers are not closed under division. So when you divide a by b, so here where a and b are any two integers, then a divided by b always may not be an integer. For example, if you take the two integers as minus 8 and 4, so when minus 8 is divided by 4, so we get the quotient as minus 8 by 4 equals to 4 1s are 4 2s are 8. Minus 2 is an integer, but whereas when 4 is divided by minus 8, we get the quotient minus 1 by 2, which is not an integer. So we can say that integers are not closed under division. So we can write that a divided by b may not be integer. Now let us check the commutative property. Now let's see the commutative property. Now 6 is an integer, then 6 divided by minus 3. So this equals to 6 by minus 3 equals to minus 2. And then when minus 3 is divided by 6, so then we get minus 3 divided by 6 equals to minus 1 by 2. So here both the quotients are not same. So we can write that 6 divided by minus 3 is not equal to minus 3 divided by 6. So we can say that integers are not commutative under division. So for any two integers a and b, we can write a divided by b is not equal to b divided by a. So integers are not commutative. Here not closure. Integers are not closed under division, and integers are not commutative under division. Now let us see the third property, that is associative property. Now if we take any three integers such as minus 8 divided by 4, which is divided by 2, and we will take the second case as minus 8 divided by 4 divided by 2. Now let us do the first case. Now minus 8 by 4 is minus 2, which is divided by 2, so this equals to minus 1. And in the second case, minus 8 divided by 4 divided by 2 is 2. So here minus 8 is divided by 2, then we get the quotient as minus 4. So we got the different results in the two cases. So we can write that minus 8 divided by 4, which is divided by 2, is not equal to minus 8 divided by 4 divided by 2. So we can write that integers are not associative under division. So then we can write that a divided by b divided by c is not equal to a divided by b divided by c. Now let us see the next property, that is division by 1. So that is fourth one, division by 1. So when you divide any integer by 1, for example 5 divided by 1 equals to, the quotient is 5. So when you divide the other integer minus 13 by 1, so we get the quotient as minus 13. So in general, if a is any integer and a is divided by 1, then we get the quotient as the integer a itself. So here we can write that a divided by 1 equals to a. Now let us see the last property, that is division by 0. So when you divide any non-zero integer by 0, for example 12 divided by 0, so division by 0 is meaningless. So division by 0 is not defined. So when you divide any non-zero number like minus 15 divided by 0, so this also not defined. So division by 0 is not defined. So for any non-zero integer a divided by 0 is not defined. For any non-zero integer a divided by 0 is not defined. So far we have discussed the properties of integers under subtraction and also under division. So closure property, commutative property, associative property we have discussed under subtraction and also under division. Now let us do few problems now. So fill in the blanks. The first blank is minus 25 divided by dash equals to 25. So here the negative integer minus 25 is divided by some other integer to get the quotient as the positive integer 25. So when you divide 25 by 1, we will get the same integer as 25. But the quotient is a positive integer, so we will take here the divisor as the negative integer negative 1, minus 1. So when minus 25 divided by minus 1, then we get the quotient as positive integer plus 25. Now the second blank, second question, dash divided by 1 equals to minus 49. So when any integer is divided by 1, we get the same integer as the quotient. So then we should take the dividend as the same as the quotient, that is minus 49. So here minus 49 divided by 1, then we get minus 49 as the quotient. Then 50 divided by 0. So division of any non-zero integer by 0 is not defined. So here we can write that not defined. So when 0 is divided by any integer, then we get 0 as the quotient. So if 0 is divided by any non-zero integer, then we get 0 as the quotient. Now let us see the next question. The temperature at 12 noon was 10 degrees centigrade above 0. It decreases at the rate of 2 degrees centigrade per hour until midnight. At what time would the temperature be 8 degrees centigrade below 0, and what would be the temperature at midnight? So here the temperature at 12 noon was 10 degrees centigrade above 0. So if the temperature is above 0, then we represent it as the plus 10 degrees centigrade. If it is below 0, then we will represent it as the minus 10 degrees centigrade. Now it decreases at the rate of 2 degrees centigrade per hour. So per every hour it is decreasing 2 degrees centigrade. Now we should find at what time would the temperature be 8 degrees centigrade below 0, and also we should find what would be the temperature at midnight. Now let us find the first question in this. Now temperature at 12 noon. Temperature at 12 noon equals to 10 degrees centigrade, and it is decreasing 2 degrees centigrade per hour. Decrease in temperature per hour equals to 2 degrees centigrade. Now we should find the at what time would the temperature be 8 degrees centigrade below 0. So then we should find out total decrease in temperature equals to, so first it was 10 degrees centigrade and it is decreased by 2 degrees centigrade per every hour, so till it becomes 8 degrees centigrade, so we take plus 8 degrees centigrade, so this equals to 18 degrees centigrade. Now we should find out how much time is taken to become the temperature 18 degrees centigrade. So then time taken equals to 18 degrees centigrade divided by 2 degrees centigrade. So this equals to 9 hours. So then we can write that at what time would the temperature be 8 degrees centigrade below 0. So we can write that the temperature would be below 0 at 9 p.m. So after 12 noon, after 9 hours means it is 9 p.m. Now the second question in this, what would be the temperature at midnight? Now the temperature at 12 noon was equals to 10 degrees centigrade, and it is decreasing every hour by 2 degrees centigrade. So decrease per hour equals to 2 degrees centigrade. So after at midnight means at 12 midnight means in 12 hours, then we should find out what is the temperature after 12 hours. The temperature after 12 hours equals to 10 minus 12 into 2. So 10 minus 12 to the 24. So this equals to minus 14 degrees centigrade. So therefore you can write that the temperature at midnight equals to minus 14 degrees centigrade, and that is same as 14 degrees centigrade below 0. Now let us see the next question. In a class test containing 15 questions, 4 marks are given for every correct answer and minus 2 marks are given for every incorrect answer. Then Bharati attempts all questions but only 9 answers are correct. What is her total score? And Hema attempts only 5 questions and all are correct. So then what will be her total score? So in the test containing 15 questions, so 4 marks given for every correct answer and minus 2 marks are given for every incorrect answer. So then in case of Bharati, she attempts all questions but only 9 answers are correct. So out of 15 questions, 9 answers are correct means the remaining 6 answers are incorrect. So then Hema attempts only 5 questions. So out of these 5 questions, all answers are correct. Then the incorrect answers, so then we should find her total score. Now the first case, so Bharati's case here. Now in case of Bharati, she attempts all questions. So out of 15 questions, she attempted 15 questions but only 9 answers are correct. Then marks given for nine correct answers equals to 9 into 4, so that equals to 36. As she attempts all questions, all questions attempted. Now the marks given the remaining 6 incorrect answers. Now marks given for 6 incorrect answers, so this equals to 6 into, here minus 2 marks are given for every incorrect answer, so we can write 6 into minus 2, so this equals to minus 12. Now we can find Bharati's total score. Bharati's total score equals to 36 plus of minus 12. So this equals to 24. Now the second case, in case of Hema attempts only 5 questions. So 5 questions attempted. And here 5 questions. So these 5 answers are correct. Now marks given for five correct answers. Equals to 5 into 4. Because 4 marks are given for every correct answer, so 5 into 4 equals to 20. So as she did not attempt any incorrect answers, so that is why, so we will not find the marks given for incorrect answers. So this is 20 is the Bharati's, 20 is the Hema's total score. So we can write Hema's total score equals to 20 marks.